us, if you give a mountain of gold, of Uhud, one of the biggest mountains in the Arabia, he would want another one. He will never be content in this dunya. So we must train ourselves. It's just like a child. You give him a bag of candy, he always wants more candy. He doesn't know what's good for himself. So we have to understand that we have to train ourselves. What is acceptable in this dunya? Have we compromised our religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How much of our deen have we compromised for this dunya? Truly, how much of our deen have we compromised for this dunya? What is the definition of a moderate Muslim? We must go and read it. What is the definition? Because we cannot just say, okay, I am a moderate Muslim. You cannot just say that. You have to understand what is the definition of it. Because there is a specific definition what a moderate Muslim is. This is a specific definition, what it means. If you go to the down of it, what is a moderate Muslim? There's a lot of things about a modern Muslim. A modern Muslim should not want, a modern Muslim does not accept the Khalifa. Does not want the Khalifa. The modern Muslim would want to live under democracy. Abolish the Khalifa. A modern Muslim does not want the Sharia law. A modern Muslim that would let, it's okay for their daughters to go across town without a mahram and study. A modern Muslim, it's okay for them to have to want their children to have only 1 or 2 kids, and that's enough. This is what a modern Muslim is. You must be coping in this world, because we have the idea that this world and this time that we live in truly have changed. Let's examine that for a moment. Did the time that we live in really have changed? What have changed in this world? Did we figure out the way to live and feed without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy? Can we produce our own food? Can we live without the sun? Can we live without the laws of the basic laws of nature? Can we do that? No, it's always the same. It's always the same. We are under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very important to understand. We're still under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the beginning, from the creation of Adam until the end of time, we still will be under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, we must obey His laws. Unless you figure out another way you could live without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have to obey His laws. And this is the way it goes. So what did really have changed? Time have changed? Yes, it did. The only thing that had changed from it, that people, mankind, have went astray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does that mean you have to be among them? You have to please them? No, you still have to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People during the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, their time was million times worse than now. Right now, alhamdulillah, this country allows you to pray, allows you to practice your religion, allows you to grow a beard if you want to. You could wear a thobe and go to school if you want to. Alhamdulillah, they give you this opportunity. You could do that. The people during the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you'll be killed if you pray. And they were still said, Ahadun Ahad, there is no God but Allah, the only one, until their death. They sacrificed their life for that message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, under persecutions. So don't think this time is pressuring you to change. I must fit, brother, with the people. This is what the excuse people use. I must fit in. Because people looking at us as terrorists. And this is not only from us adults. This is not only from us adults. This, the children, our children sees that. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, our children sees that. They don't understand anything about the deen of Islam. Because we must take a moment. We have to take a moment and teach them what Islam have achieved in the world. You have to teach them about the history of Islam. We have to teach them what Islam really did for the world. Islam is the first religion that the Muslims that gave the world running water. The Muslims are the people who created algebra, the one who studied numerals, who discovered hospitals, who started secluding people with different diseases. They are the people who are the best of knowledge. People travel from all over the world. The people from the non-Muslims, they used to eat their food without spices. The Muslim introduced spices to the food, salt, spices and these things. This is things what we are proud of. This is what Islam is. So do not sit there and not study about your religion. Teach your children about your religion. This is what Islam is. This is what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ brought. This is the knowledge that you are learning today. It is part of it from the Islamic world. We have to understand that. If anything that is moderate is Muslims who made the world moderate. People lived in tents across and right next to the water because they have no running water. Islam brought running waters to the homes. If you see the difference between Spain, Al-Andalus, and the neighboring state, you will think it's a difference between night and day. Because the Muslim people are intelligent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them intelligent. They understand their purpose. Science never contradicted their religion. It coincided together. It's not like it was Christianity. Christianity prosecuted people that claim that they have scientific proofs and stuff, but Islam welcomed scientific proofs because it would never contradict the Quran. Because we know the Quran coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's take a moment and enjoy the Iman. Truly understand what happiness is. Do not let this time deceive you. Do not be deceived. Take a moment. Take a true moment. And take your time and look at your life. Look at your family. Look at everything that you do in your home. How much did I disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How much I truly disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thinking by disobeying Him I will gain happiness? How much of the wrong that we are doing? How much interest we accumulated on our credit card, thinking that's what's going to give us happiness, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us it is haram. How many of us don't want our children to marry until they have degrees? But it's okay to fornicate. We act like it's not okay, it's haram, but we know they do it, but we turn the other way. Because if you don't know about it, it's not going to hurt us. We are only lying to ourselves. Why? Because this is what our modern world teaches today. Our children must have a degree, a secular degree. And as soon as they get married, they have to buy a house with interest. This is what I want to show our people, what my children have achieved. But if my child achieved, if my daughter achieved and they have 10 kids, I'm not going to be proud of that. Have 10 kids and teach them of Islam, I'm not going to be proud of that. Why would I be proud of that? My daughter is a lawyer and a doctor, I will be proud of that. Is this the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This is not. Because this is not what truly is going to give you happiness. I'm not saying do not expect that from your daughters and your children. Of course, we must be the most educated. But you have to put the first thing first. You must put the first thing first. You should not put your studying, for example, over taking care of your daughter. You should not feel that your daughter or your son is a burden on you. This your responsibility is first, taking care of your children. You make sure they have everything they want. They understand Islam. They understand their purpose. Then compromise your studying. Make a time of studying, maybe when they go to sleep or do that. But do not take them, brothers and sisters. The reason I'm telling you this because I worked in an Islamic school. I truly did work in Islamic school. And what happens? People call the school and asking, my son is 6 months old. Can I enroll him right now? Why? Because we feel our children is a burden to our future. Can I enroll my child right now? How about if he's 1 year old? Do you know anywhere that I could take my child? Why? Because we do not see our happiness with our children. We have been deceived that our happiness when we go out there and achieve more materialistic things. Truly, this is what we believe. And this is not a fiction story. This is the reality of our world today. Whether you're a Muslim or not, this is the reality. We should see and acknowledge that our happiness in our families, the bigger family it is, the love in our families. Find these things and work the dunya things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that made halal, which is your education. Your education and a great job and a great knowledge. Work that within that life. But do not say it's one way or another. And this thing that we have to understand. Because truly there's a lot of us Muslims and non-Muslims, that we have been deceived. We are confused what true happiness is. We have happiness in our home. We truly do. But we overwork ourselves. Why? Mother and father are working. Why? Because we believe the big home is going to give us happiness. We are not happy because in it. We are happy because other people think that we are happy. This is the only reason we are happy. Because truly you are not happy. You are working day and night. So we must go to the basic of this dunya. Live in the basic means of this dunya. Very basic. You have a small TV, alhamdulillah. You don't have to get the new one that comes out every time. You have a used car, alhamdulillah. It's great. You have to live in the basic. You do not have high-speed internet. You don't have cable TV. Alhamdulillah, it's not a necessity. Do not overwork yourself. Sacrifice your family to get these material things in this dunya. Because why? It's not going to make you happy. Live in a smaller place that costs a lot less that will take you no time to